thunder rolls across a faded sky. A slow drumbeat begins deep, echoing, ancient dot, closing parenthesis. Narrator, have you ever felt like your whole life was pushing you towards something? Something bigger, something terrifying, something you weren't sure you were strong enough to become. Because that's exactly where Simba's story begins, not with a roar, but with a question. What if I am not ready to be who I am supposed to be? It's a question that shapes his journey, his courage, and his destiny. Cut to a newborn cub lifted on Pride Rock as animals bow. Narrator, the moment Simba opened his eyes, the entire kingdom bowed, believing he was destined for greatness, future king, a leader of the Pride Lands. But here's the truth, that nobody talks about. Simba wasn't born fearless. He wasn't born wise. He wasn't even born brave. He was just a tiny cub with a giant destiny resting on shoulders, too small to carry it. Every roar he tried felt more like a whisper, and every lesson felt like a mountain. Cut to young Simba running toward Mufasa. Narrator, Mufasa understood this. He didn't expect Simba to be perfect. Instead, he taught him to feel the world, to respect it, to walk in balance with it, to understand that a king isn't crowned by power, but by responsibility. When Mufasa said, "Everything the light touches is our kingdom," Simba didn't hear the wisdom hidden in those words, bored. What he heard was, "One day, all this will be mine." And for a cub full of fire, that meant adventure, danger or not. Cut to Scar lurking behind him. Narrator, but in the shadows stood Scar, a lion with envy dripping from his tongue like poison. Scar didn't just dislike Simba, he despised the idea of him. To Scar, Simba was the obstacle, the cub who stole the throne he wanted for himself. But Scar didn't attack with claws or teeth. He attacked with whispers, manipulation. Words designed to twist a young cub's curiosity into something deadly, and whispers far more dangerous than roars. Cut to elephant graveyard scene. Hyenas surrounding Simba. Narrator, Scar led Simba into danger with temptation, not threats. Cues Simba's need to prove himself. Simba wanted to be brave, wanted to act like a future king. So he walked right into the elephant graveyard, straight into the jaws of death. When the hyenas surrounded him and Nala, it wasn't courage that saved them. It was Mufasa charging through dust and bones like a storm, roaring with a power that shook the earth. But even then, Simba didn't understand how fragile the path in front of him truly was. Cut to the sky darkens. A distant rumble. The stampede. Narrator, that understanding would come in the gorgon. The day the air filled with dust. The ground trembled beneath thousands of hooves. And the greatest king the Pride Lands ever knew made his final stand. Simba wasn't just scared, he was helpless. A small lion swallowed by chaos. Mufasa fought through the stampede with everything he had. Clinging to life, clinging to hope, clinging to his son. He saved Simba. He always did. But this time, he couldn't save himself. Cut to Simba crying beside Mufasa. Narrator, that moment shattered Simba's world. He didn't just lose a father, he lost his guide, his anchor, his belief in himself. And Scar, smelling opportunity like blood, sank his claws into Simba's broken heart. Scar, this was all your fault. Narrator, those 5 words became chains. Heavy, suffocating chains that Simba would carry for years. Scar commanded him to run, and so he did. Not from danger, but from himself. Cut to the desert. Simba collapsing. Narrator, but life has a strange way of giving second chances even to those who don't believe they deserve them. So, when Simba collapsed in the scorching desert, he thought his story was over. But then came Timon and Pumbaa, two unlikely heroes who didn't care about royalty, destiny, or the weight Simba carried. They didn't see a failure, they didn't see a criminal. They saw someone alone, someone hurting, someone who needed a family. Cut to Simba growing in the jungle. Narrator, in the jungle, Simba grew stronger, faster, more confident. But inside him, something stayed the same, the echo of guilt he never faced. Hakuna Matata helped him smile, but it didn't erase his past. Because you can change where you live. You can change how you live. But destiny waits. It doesn't vanish. It stands in the shadows, waiting for the moment you're ready to face it. Cut 2. Nala finding Simba. Narrator: when Nala found Simba, she brought more than memories. She brought truth, painful truth. The Pride Lands were dying. His mother was suffering. His people were starving. Scar had taken everything from the kingdom. And Simba wasn't there. He resisted, he argued, he doubted. Because the cub inside him still whispered the same fear. This is my fault. Cut 2. Rafiki leading Simba to the water. Narrator: but destiny doesn't knock, it roars. And it roared through Rafiki. The wise old mandrill led Simba to a quiet pool, where the water reflected not the cub who failed, but the lion he could become. Rafiki told him, "He lives in you." And when Simba looked deeper, he didn't just see himself, he saw Mufasa, saw his father's strength inside him, his father's courage, his father's love. Mufasa, remember who you are. Narrator: those words shattered the guilt Scar had built. Simba finally understood he wasn't running because he was weak. He was running because he feared the strength inside him. And now, he was ready to face it. Cut 2. Simba running back home. Narrator: Simba returned not as a frightened cub, not as a runaway, but as a lion ready to reclaim what was his. When he stepped onto Pride Rock, the kingdom felt hope for the first time in years. Cut 2. Simba versus Scar. Narrator: Scar tried every trick, every lie, every manipulation to break Simba again. But Simba didn't bow, he didn't run. He stood firm with the truth burning in his eyes. Simba: I'm not like you. Narrator: the battle that followed wasn't just claws and fire. It was courage versus corruption. Truth versus lies. Destiny versus fear. And when Scar finally fell, Simba didn't celebrate. He didn't roar in triumph. He accepted his place with humility and strength. Cut 2. Simba climbing Pride Rock in the rain. Narrator: Simba's climb through fire and storm was more than iconic, was symbolic. It was the moment a lost cub became a king. His roar didn't declare power. It declared healing, balance, hope. Cut 2. The Pride Lands restored. Narrator: under Simba's rule, life flourished again. Water returned, grass grew, the kingdom healed. And Simba learned the greatest truth. A king isn't perfect. A king isn't fearless. A king is the one who rises every time he falls. Cut 2. Rafiki lifting Kiara. Narrator: Simba's journey became a reminder to anyone who feels lost, guilty, or broken. He teaches us that our past shapes us, but it doesn't own us. Because inside every one of us is a roar strong enough to change everything. Thunder echoes, the sky glows gold. Narrator: these, with Simba's epic rise of bravery, strength, and forgiveness. And your rise, your story is only beginning.